Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the DRF race of the day for Friday, September the 25th. Race number 7 at Santa Anita, opening day of the Santa Anita Autumn Meeting. Let's throw up the field for the Grade 2 Eddie D Stakes. We're going 5.5 furlongs on the turf. This race named after the great rider Eddie De La Houssaye. You can download free Formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Access them, handicap along with us. Mike, I'm interested in your take on this Timeform US pace projector. They have the 3 Mr. Vargas, who's obviously very fast, out there on the lead, but it's a pretty lonely lead, and it's not a red bar scenario. I think the 2 Gimme the Loot and the 1 Wild Man Jack, they're plenty fast if they want to go.
Yeah, I agree with that. And listen, even the horse on the outside, the 7, has a little bit of speed as well. So listen, maybe this horse will make the lead. He's certainly fast enough to get there, but I agree with you. If he's that clear at the pace call, he's probably going pretty fast.
Wild Man Jack is the number 1, and the last time Wild Man Jack ran at Santa Anita, he broke the track record at 5.5, going 101.01 in the Grade 3 Daytona. And Mike Smith rode him very conservatively that day, almost as if he knew he was going to get there. And I thought he was very fortunate to get the bob. His last race on dirt was perfectly fine. What happened at Keeneland? Because that was just a dud at a short price.
I don't know what happened in that race. I mean, and listen, maybe at the end of the day, they just shipped him and he, didn't like that turf course because he didn't show any of his usual speed that day. And he never made a run at that race as the favorite. It was obviously a good field, but it was a very disappointing performance. I guess the good news for him, Dan, is that he did run well when he won the Daytona. And he actually ran well last time when they tried dirt in a Grade 1, because that was a wicked contested pace with a bunch of horses up there. And the horses that wound up running 1-2 in there came from way out of it.
Tactically inclined gelding can work out any kind of a trip, get some class relief from the Bing Crosby and the Shakertown, and he's had a big season. Track record holder at Maidan and the Nat Al Sheba Turf Sprint, and as I mentioned, track record holder at Santa Anita in the Daytona. Let's watch Gimme the Loot's last race. Allowance event at Golden Gate Fields, going 5 furlongs on the turf. Just seems like this gelding's found himself in his last 2 races. He's finally put it all together with a victory, but we see him drifting out considerably while he's on the lead. He's got speed. He's probably going to have to deal with the horse next door, Mr. Vargas. These are tougher horses.
Yeah, it's a nice class test for this horse, whose last 2 races are both really good. I mean, they're obviously the 2 best races he's ever run, and they're going to step him up in class at the right time here. But it's a pretty significant class test for him. There are some good horses in here.
Mr. Vargas, the number 3, hasn't run since the 2019 edition of the Eddie D, where he showed speed and tired. And that's been the story of this horse's career. Layoff line after layoff line. He does run well fresh. He does have some class. He won the Green Flash handicap 2 starts back on the lead, and he beat some very nice horses that day. I'm expecting him to be ready to fire. I don't think they waste prep races for horses like this that have their share of physical problems.
I agree. And you're right that he's fired fresh before. So I'm assuming we're going to get one of his good races here. And his good race is actually pretty good. When he won the Green Flash 2 back, he got the big figure for that race, Dan, but he got absolutely loose on the lead that day. And I don't know if that's going to happen in here. Now, he showed 1 start before that when he won the allowance race that he can track a little bit and still run. And maybe he's going to have to do that here. But he's facing this is a pretty tough spot off the long layoff.
One of the X factors for me in this race, a really intriguing runner, is the 4, Grit and Curiosity. This is a horse that has not run since February at Oaklawn. He was really getting good over the winter on dirt at Oaklawn for Peter Miller, and he's run some decent races on the turf. His last race on the turf came way back last fall at Indiana Grand against a pretty weak field, but he overcame a slow pace, and I thought looked good doing it.
I thought he's run pretty well in both of his dirt starts or turf starts so far, Dan. I mean, they didn't get figures either time, but he ran well in both of those races. And you're right, he was improving the last time we saw him. Another horse coming off of a layoff and facing better horses, but he's doing it for a dangerous trainer.
Sparkyville is the number 5, and on his best day, Sparkyville can step with some of these horses. He was the horse that Wild Man Jack just nosed out at 70-1 in that Daytona back in May. A winner 2 starts back. He got no pace last time out in the Green Flash.
He didn't. He's got that one big race, and I don't know where it came from, Dan, but he did run an excellent race in the Daytona because he was part of that contested pace, and Wild Man Jack came and just tagged him on the wire. If he can run a race like that, he's tough in here.
Peter Miller has grit and curiosity. He also has a fascinating 3-year-old, the 6 El Tigre Terrible, coming off of a win on dirt in the Real Good Deal Stakes, but he's also pretty good on the turf. Throw out that Oceanside 2 starts back. A, the distance was too far. B, the horse had a terrible trip. His prior turf sprints are both good, but he's another horse that needs pace help up front.
Yeah, his 2 turf sprints are good, but they aren't that fast, Dan. He may not get the right setup in here, and he's going to have to take a huge step forward to go with these horses.
Horse taking a big step up in class, but in very sharp form, is the lightly raced number 7, Big Runur, who is a perfect 2 for 2 since blinkers were added to the equation earlier this year. Let's watch his last race, the Siren Lure, going 5.5 furlongs. It appeared nobody wanted the lead early. The jock was able to get this horse to the front. He pushed the one horse who was going to hold on for a piece of this early, and he's just too good for this field. There just wasn't a lot of running going on behind him, which makes me question the quality of this field. But before he went away for the summer, he was in very good form.
He was. Listen, his return from the layoff in May, I thought he looked really good winning that race. And so it wasn't surprising to me that he came back and won again last time in the Siren Lure. I just wasn't as impressed with his win last time. I know that he got it done, and I know it was a bigger figure. I wasn't as impressed with that race as I wanted to be.
Let's take a look at our top picks. I think the horse to beat is your top selection in here, Wildman Jack. He's clearly the class of the race, and he's run several races good enough to win. My concern, and that's why I kind of threw him out, was he's just done a lot of traveling this year, and that Keeneland race really bothers me. He's gone to Dubai, he's gone back, he's gone to Keeneland, he's run on dirt. He's done a lot of different things. He's certainly the horse to beat. I wonder how they're going to bet this race. If he's 9-5 or 8-5 or so, I'm going to go against him with Big Runner, who's sharp and versatile.
I'm not going to argue trying to beat Wildman Jack at a short price in here, Dan. I don't love him. I just didn't really like the alternatives. And I just sort of felt like if he shows up and runs his best race, he'll probably win.
It's a really good spot for Wildman Jack to return to turf sprints. And if he runs well here, got to think we're going to see him in the Breeders' Cup later this fall. 7-2-5-3 for me, 1-7-2-3 for Mike. It's your Friday race of the day. It's opening day at Santa Anita. And approximate post time for race number 7 is 3:30 Pacific. Best of luck.